voice itself was part of my medicine. My voice itself was a part of the magic that I'm here to bring the world. So my question for you is, what is the part of your reality, part of your consciousness that you are currently judging that is also a sensitive superpower that is intrinsically connected to your medicine, right? And really start to be honest with yourself. Because if you're judging it, you're pushing it down. And if you're pushing it down, you aren't letting it expand in its fullest light. Welcome to the Divine Mirror, where we dive deeply into the journey of discovering your unique inner medicine. I'm your host, Harrison, and here we explore how each of us can become a force of healing and transformation simply by showing up authentically. Join me as we uncover the steps needed to be the cure that is you, and the magic of being a true divine mirror for others. Let's step into this journey together. Your inner magical medicine awaits. Welcome, powerful hearts, to episode 4 of the Divine Mirror. This is identifying the unique medicine within, the specific unique medicine. And I'm going to start with some gratitude and some love. Really appreciate you being here on this journey with me here today. Bit of disclaimer, you might hear a lot of extra sounds in today's recording. I'm currently out and about in Thailand and testing this recording in nature. So you might hear some birds and some bikes and some interesting people in the background. I hope that only adds to this experience. But back to the show, back to today's conversation. This is part 4 of the Divine Mirror journey that we have been on together. And I'm excited to go into the unique qualities, and specifically, how do we find the unique qualities, the unique medicine that really makes up our divine mirror. But first, a quick recap of the previous episode. We talked about the devotion and the self-acceptance needed to really start to maintain and sustain your divine mirror connection. We talked about this foundational practice at large, and how devotion is definitely not discipline. Talked about the 3 stages of awareness and standing on the bridge of your beautiful emotions and feelings, and learning to be in acceptance, right? Learning to be in the beautiful, deeper stages of awareness around everything that's moving through you, not bypassing, not ignoring and suppressing, but really being the watcher. And I also gave you some homework to practice: holding the child, seeking the treasure in the shadows, and stepping forward as the field of love. So if you still haven't reached out to me on social media to let me know how those went, I would still love to hear your progress. So today, we are really going to be focusing in on tuning into your specific strengths, values, and qualities to define your personal medicine. And as always, I want to start this episode with a poem that I have written that I feel highlights a lot of the magic that we're going to get into today. And this poem is called Your Unique Way of Loving. In a world adorned with love's sweet symphony, I stand proud, embracing my own melody. For my way of loving is unique all to me, a soothing blanket woven with soulful authenticity. I love like gentle whispers of Gaia's own breeze, softly caressing hearts, not waiting for pleas. In peaceful moments, I offer solace and grace, a sanctuary where souls find their rightful place. I love like the radiant colors of a new rising sun, painting the sky freely, yet only just begun. With vibrant definitions, I illuminate the path, guiding hearts through darkness with a childlike laugh. I love like a river, flowing with no restriction, with depths unknown and mysteries awaiting distinction. I love like a wildfire, fierce and untamed, igniting all hearts, leaving nothing unclaimed. With a burning intensity, I'll want it all and consume. Despite the love differences in others, I'll forever bloom. I love like a poet, with words as my graceful art, crafting verses that resonate, leaving awakening in my part. With metaphors and phrases, I'll emote and express the depths of love's essence are my priceless finesse. For my way of loving will be forever unique to me, and I'm proud of its beauty for all to see. So let the world marvel at love's grand array. Embrace your own expression and love your own way. But in this cosmic dance of love's endless flight, your special way of loving will be your shining gift so bright. So, as always, I hope that expression of my authentic gifts, one of my authentic pieces of medicine, hit your heart and started to illuminate for you just exactly what we are getting at here in today's conversation. And as you can see and feel, each of our gifts, each of our unique expressions of the medicine and the divine mirror that is us, can unfold in different ways. Yet, during the unfolding, during the expression of the gifts, you feel something, right? In that poem, as an example, despite the words, you most likely felt things. Despite the quantity and the amount of things spoken and expressed, you felt something, right? And we're going to get into this in a little bit, but I want to plant the seed in relation to your gift, in relation to your medicine. It's not about filling spaces. It's not about doing a lot of things. It's about the energy and the presence that you bring to spaces and places. And this can come up and form itself in many different ways. So, again, highlighting that your unique strength, values, and qualities, these will really define your medicine. And I'm going to begin by reminding you that it's all there. It's all already inside of you. As we've talked about in the first 3 episodes, this divine mirror and now this unique expression of the mirror, there is no getting. There is no doing something to then have it. It's already inside of you. It's more about giving yourself permission and allowing it to come through. And for most of us, it's a more specific conversation around what is the pain, what is the fear, what is the story, what is the emotion, what is the trauma that is stopping it from coming through. And in the previous episodes, you may have already, or you should have already, really started to process some of these stories, these limiting beliefs, and or these suppressed emotions and feelings that are holding your medicine down or creating a layer of illusion and mystery and a layer of confusion around what it is that is on top of your medicine, right? So we're not here to pretend, right? We're here to illuminate. We're here to shine a bright light on what is already yours. We're here to reclaim what is already yours. So another place to begin around finding this medicine, finding this uniqueness, is starting to ask yourself, what are the non-negotiables in your life? What are the things that you currently will not budge on? And what I mean by this is, what are the things that when you speak to people or you enter the world or you are planning a trip or you are making a workshop or whatever it is, like I'm specifically talking to healers here, but this relates to everyone. What are the things that you are not budging on? You are non-negotiables in your life that you desire to fill your love cup up that doesn't drain you, that is a necessity for you to enter the world. And I'll give some examples. Maybe this is how much sleep you have at night. Maybe this is the quality of your diet. Maybe this is how you move your body and exercise. Maybe this is how you have a morning routine or an evening routine. Maybe this is your journaling practice. Maybe this is your meditation practice. These are all non-negotiables that you are making the choice to hold as values and parts of your identity that you know allow you to express your light. And you're most likely doing it unconsciously. But I'm asking you now, here in this moment, to really reflect on what are the things that you need in your life to show up fully. And the reason I'm asking you to bring awareness is these are most likely connected to your inner medicine, your divine mirror. And these are things that you're already doing, and they are either directly connected or very closely connected to what your medicine, your unique medicine is. So just reflect on them. And I'll come back to this. I talk about the homework, but in this moment, just start to plant that seed around the non-negotiables that already exist in your reality. The next part here, in terms of identifying your unique medicine, is asking yourself, where do your sensitivities lay? Where do your current sensitivities express themselves in your reality? And what I mean by sensitivities are the things that you are extra acutely aware around, right? The things that you would normally potentially judge about yourself. The big one that I always use as an example in my journey was my voice, the voice that you're listening to now here on this episode. I spent a big portion of my life judging how emotional, sensitive, vulnerable, feminine, non-masculine, insert label here, that my voice was, and how sensitive my voice was. And the more I brought awareness to this part of me, this magic that I am, the more that it started to grow, the more that it started to expand in my reality. And the more I started to realize that not only was there nothing to judge around my voice, but the voice itself was part of my medicine. My voice itself was a part of the magic that I'm here to bring the world. So my question for you is, what is the part of your reality, part of your consciousness that you are currently judging, that is also a sensitive superpower that is intrinsically connected to your medicine, right? And really start to be honest with yourself. Because if you're judging it, you're pushing it down. And if you're pushing it down, you aren't letting it expand in its fullest light. And it may be very obvious, and it may not. And I'm going to give you an exercise at the end of this recording of how to really start to see that more clearly if it is unconscious to you. But here in this moment, start to play around with what this is. And this could be many different things, right? It could be the way that you move your body. It could be not just your voice, but the way that you maybe sing, or the way that you maybe interact with people, or the way that you like to dress, or the way that you like to show up in particular circumstances, right? There are many different ways in which your presence, your energy, your medicine will express itself. Maybe it's the way that you connect to the ethereal world, to energies and spirits around you. Maybe it is the way that you decide to hold yourself, right? Maybe it's the way that you decide to, write about, express yourself through the written form. Maybe it's the way that your physicality expresses itself. Lots of different examples here. So start to really acknowledge it, and start to acknowledge that you maybe do not see it, but others around you do, right? You maybe do not recognize how beautiful this medicine, this unique medicine that you already are is, but others around you do. So this is the next part here. What type of people in your reality can you start to have conversations to and with that can start to reflect back to you your medicine? Right, the obvious answers here is your direct family, but I would get even more, brainstorm even more here around what about friends? What about clients? What about people that you've interacted with? Because often we let our guard down around lots of different kinds of people. And it's in that letting down of your guard, your medicine starts to seep through. So start having conversations with these people around what they see. One of my favorite quotes from Neville Goddard is along the lines of, we are all living in a reality that we create from our own. So I live in reality. I'll use me as an example. I live in a reality that is created by my perception of myself, my perception of other people, which is simultaneously not the perception that those people live in. So what that means in more common layman's terms is, just because you perceive yourself in a particular way does not mean the people outside of you have that same perception of not only you, but also like they have their own perception of their own selves and their reality. So in relation to your medicine, never underestimate what others can see. Never underestimate what others can feel. And that is really the next teaching here around your inner medicine, along this path of really starting to tune into your unique medicine, tune into this specific part of your divine mirror. Notice the feelings that come up. This is not just about the thought forms, the stories, the mental stories that you create around your unique medicine. It's also about the feelings and the emotions that we've most likely suppressed. As we talked about in the previous episode, your emotions aren't just emotions, they are divine communication. So this very intention of finding your specific medicine, your emotions are clues. Your emotions bring guidance, which connects me to the next point here in finding your unique medicine. Another way to really start to bring observation and awareness around it is, where do you feel most creative? Keyword here is feel and creation, creativity. Where do you feel that creativity sparks in you and moves through you? Because if you are feeling creative, that channel is open, that divine mirror is reflecting. So where in your life does that creation energy flow most abundantly through you? Because if it's flowing abundantly through you, then that medicine is moving, that medicine is activating. So is it around children, right? Is it around when you're writing? Is it around when you're singing? Is it around when you're playing? Is it around when you are maybe on the video recording something? Start to really open yourself to what this may be, because creation energy is this same divine energy, or creation energy, sexual energy, playful energy. It's all the same, right? So that creative spark is a hallmark, right? Is a post towards where this medicine is flowing through. And this also is correspondent to, what did you naturally do as a child, right? Before you went to school, and that's very important, because school, despite its benefits, has a lot of conditioning, right? Has a lot of programming, has a lot of, unfortunately, suppressing of the creative parts of you. So I want you to sit down, connect to that beautiful inner child, as we've already done in previous episodes, and really start to open yourself to, what did you naturally flow towards as a child before school? What did you naturally understand about the greater reality? What did you naturally How did you naturally hold yourself? How did you naturally express yourself as a child? And this will also start to open up this unique medicine that you already are. So, what does that look like for you? For me, for example, I spent a lot of time in nature, right? For me, for example, I spent a lot of time with people, but not just with people in a certain way around people, in a certain energy, using my voice, expressing my inspirations and feelings for that person, right? There's the way that I showed up. So I can really pinpoint that as a child before school, and it really connects to what I'm doing now here with my medicine. So again, what is it for you? What is that beautiful little boy, little girl? How does she or he show up in that natural state? Next up here, where are the spaces and places that you are naturally drawn to? So now in this present, if you could drop everything right now in your reality, everything you're doing, what would you do? Where would you specifically go? What would you be drawn towards? So, what I'm asking you here to really connect to around your unique medicine is what unique environments, what unique experiences would you do now if everything was possible? What unique experiences, what unique environments would you do now if you knew that you couldn't fail? What unique environments, what unique experiences would you take a risk on if you understood that you were this limitless, magical, divine being that you've always been? So I want you to play around with this, right? Would you go overseas? Would you partake in an activity that before this you would think is off the books? Would you meet up with someone that is again off limits? So play around with where do you feel drawn towards? Because again, this is more now, it's feelings and emotions, but it's also the knowledge of the body, right? The body keeps score. The body tells the story of your life. And when we drop out of our head into our hearts, and then we tune into the body itself, as we talked about in episode 1, the body can speak, but it also pulls us to spaces and places that we need to be. And these spaces and places that we need to be can reflect back to us the medicine that we are, the medicine that we already are, the unique medicine that is wanting to shine brightly. So really connect into this truth that your body wishes to communicate and follow it. And there will be fear, right? There will be insecurities, there will be limiting beliefs around this, but that's okay, right? That is, I would expect that, as we talked about in episode 2, these limiting beliefs, these unconscious programs, they will activate, but you are here to step forward anyway. You are here to step forward as the limitless field of possibility that can do it all. So I invite you to do that. All right. So I hope all of this is sinking in. I hope all of this is already starting to help you to understand what this unique medicine, specific medicine is. And I will say here at this point, this will not be instant. For some of you, it may be, but for most of us, this will take some practice. This will take some reflection, some journaling, some openness to really go to the deepness of what we are, because that's what it is. It is the deepness of what we are, but it is there. And the pitfall that we all fall into is really struggling to identify, this uniqueness, struggling to identify what it is that makes us special. But I promise you, it is innate. I promise you, it is already a gift that you have to share. And we need it, right? We need your gift. We need this uniqueness. And you are given this opportunity with no expectation. You are given this opportunity to share the uniqueness that you are with no pressure, right? You get to choose this. and you are loved either way. You are loved unconditionally, whether you choose to embody this medicine or not. This whole journey, this divine mirror, you get to choose. And if you choose it, then I promise you that your reality will become a lot more magical. Your reality will be filled with the possibility that you deserve to embody. And if you choose none of this, if this is the point in this journey today where you decide, I'm out, this is too much, I can't deal with this, I feel the intensity, I feel overwhelming emotion, I feel all these things coming up, and you decide to take a break or even pull out altogether, I share with you, not just from myself here holding your hand, but also the greater reality that that is also okay, that you are still loved, because that field that you are is unconditional. That medicine that you are is unconditional. That unique medicine that you are is unconditional. So it will not persecute you. It will not deem you unworthy because you never were unworthy. And maybe this act in itself is what is needed to help you see this uniqueness, right? The fully surrendering, the fully releasing all pressure, internal or external. But if you're still with me here after all this, you're still with me after all that, I want to now share some exercises with you, some more specific exercises. So what I've just shared some channels and some insights around going into that uniqueness and some things to play around with. But now let's go even more specific and some things that I share with clients that I work with that I'm going to share here now with you to practice and to go into these unique parts of yourself, these parts of you that are waiting to express themselves, and these tools will activate that. So the first of which I've already spoken about a little bit, but now I'm going to give you more from an assertive angle here, just to make sure you do it. I want you to talk to loved ones and friends, right? Specifically ask them what activates them about you. What activates, so let's say you're speaking to your mom or your dad. Hey, mom, when I'm around you, what gets you excited? What activates you? What is left with you after I leave, after our interaction? Right? Is it my voice? Is it my presence? Is it a specific skill, etc.? And ask a few people. I'm going to say ask 5 people, friends or family, what their response is to how you impact them. And I want you to journal about their responses. Journal about their responses. And most importantly, notice how you feel towards the responses. Notice what comes up. And please share them with me on social media. Next up here, next piece of homework is there's going to be two meditations here that I want you to explore. The first is a solar plexus meditation. And again, if you've spent time with me, you know this specific meditation, but I'll give it very briefly here and outline it. I want you to set the intention of going on a journey into this solar plexus region. So for people new to the chakras, this is your belly button area, right below your rib cage, above your sexual organs. So in that area of the body. And I want you to go in with the intention of connecting into your specific values, the non-negotiables that we talked about before, the values that you put a line in the sand and say, hey, this is me, my current values that I stand behind. And also, and this is a very important part of the meditation here, I also want you to tune into what are the current chords that have been set in relation to other people that you are still holding on to. So I'll say that again. What are the current chords that you have set or are still attached to other people that you are still holding on to? So what are these chords. And by chords, what I mean is often when we enter relationships, all kinds of relationships, we attach ourselves. And this is beautiful. We're here in this human experience to be in beautiful, loving attachment to others. But why this is relevant to your unique medicine and this unique power that we're talking about here today is often in these attachments to people, we lose our power. We give our power away. We unconsciously relinquish it. So here in this meditation, when you're connecting into your values, connecting into your solar plexus, I also encourage you to tune into the current cords that are still attached that you need to cut and reclaim. The current cords that are still attached that you need to cut and reclaim. And do a ceremony around this. Do a cord cutting ceremony around this. I would combine it in the current meditation that you're doing, right? I often connect into the sacred fire of your solar plexus and writing down these people, these attachments, these cords on the fire, on the paper, and then and sending them into the fire, letting them go, releasing the cords into the fire. So tune into that meditation. Let me know how it goes. And once again, notice the uniqueness of your power that you reclaim back from this. And then the final tool here, the meditation I want you to practice, is connecting into your throat center, your throat chakra. And specifically, what is the current truth that wishes to be spoken from this place of power? So maybe this is already coming up in you. Maybe a truth was activated after you did the solar plexus meditation. But just to be simple here, what I mean by this truth is a lot of us are holding on to something that needs to be spoken. A lot of us are maybe in relationships with certain people, maybe in our work environments, maybe in relationship to something going on that's very important in our lives where not speaking something that needs to be said. And why this is relevant to your medicine and this unique power that you are is often this truth that needs to be spoken is holding you back. This truth that needs to be spoken is holding you back from a lot of things, but also in this instance, this specific conversation we're having today, it's holding you back from seeing your power, seeing your unique medicine. So I want you to do a meditation around your throat chakra and specifically this truth that needs to be said, this voice, this expression, this series of words that now needs to be shared with the world. So practice this meditation for me, connecting to that throat chakra center and set the intention of connecting to the words that need to be spoken, the truth that needs to be shared. And once again, notice how it makes you feel. And maybe you actually then go and speak that truth in your reality, right? Maybe you go speak that truth to the person that it's connected to in the place and the environment that it's connected to, during the activity that it's connected to. And good. And I would love to know how that goes and notice what happens, right? I'll give a very specific example in my life. I do a lot of speaking online, publicly, and I often notice there are things that come up in the moment that are sort of pushed through me, that are forced through me. And in the past, I would have suppressed them. In the past, I would have said no. In the past, I would have applied a lot of stories around, oh, I shouldn't speak that, shouldn't say that thing. But now I just release it. I trust it. I surrender to that thing that needs to be spoken. And most of the time, when I speak that thing, the people or person that's receiving it are deeply impacted by it. Like I can see it shift their reality. And it's connected to my unique medicine, right? It's connected to my unique gift of my voice, but I'm not alone in this. And there are many of you listening that also have this power and this gift. So let me know how this practice goes. Let me know how this unique voice activation and the truth behind it moves. And reach out to me on social media, as always, with these homework items and share the reflections and the shifts that they bring in relation to your divine mirror and the unique aspects of your divine mirror that are coming up. So that's it for today's episode. That is the fullness of what I wanted to share with you. I hope it hits your heart. And let me know really how this has hit you today. In next session's episode, next week's episode, we're going to be talking about your inner wisdom, your specific, learning how to trust your specific inner wisdom, right? The intuition and the high guidance that comes around connecting to your divine wisdom, your divine mirror. We've spoken today about the unique medicine that you are, but next episode is focusing in on your intuition and the guidance that comes around it, sharing it or not sharing it, right? The intuitive hits we have around spaces and places in which we're reflecting our divine mirror. And how can we trust it? How can we really connect into it more and open to really becoming attuned to this intuitive wisdom that supports our divine mirror? So that is really what we'll be going into in next week's episode. But until then, I send you so much love, and here's to the reflection of your beautiful divine mirror. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Divine Mirror. Remember that this journey of unlocking your inner medicine doesn't have to be done alone. If you're ready for personalized guidance, reach out to me for one-on-one coaching, and let's walk home along this path together. I'd love for you to share also this episode with friends and loved ones who might also find inspiration along this journey. And don't forget to connect with me on social media to share your reflections and insights and the outcomes of your homework from each episode. I can't wait to hear how your inner transformation unfolds. And until next time, keep shining and embracing that beautiful mirror within you.